Breaking news, guys. Breaking news, man. Lil Jon's son is missing. I got the news from my girl, Reality TV, who is from Georgia, by way of Texas.
It was 6 a.m. The sky over Milton, Georgia was still wrapped in darkness, no traffic, no noise. Just cold air and silence. A 27-year-old man quietly opened the front door of his family home, stepped outside, and vanished. No phone, no wallet. No shoes, no car, no goodbye. And here's where it gets disturbing. Just hours after he disappeared, a chilling video began circulating online. A video allegedly posted by rivals of his father. A video that many believe wasn't random. It was a message, a warning, or maybe something darker. The missing man isn't just anybody, he's Nathan Murray Smith, known in the music world as DJ Young Slade, and he's the son of Grammy-winning, multi-platinum producer and hip-hop icon Lil Jon. This isn't just a missing person case anymore. This feels personal. And what's unfolding behind the scenes might be more complicated than anyone imagined. February 3, 2026, Milton, Georgia, an affluent, peaceful suburb about 30 miles north of downtown Atlanta, the kind of neighborhood where nothing dramatic ever happens. Tree-lined streets, large homes, security cameras on every corner. It's the last place you'd expect a disappearance like this. According to authorities, at approximately 6 o'clock in the morning, Nathan walked out of his home in what police later described as a potentially disoriented state. He didn't take his phone, he didn't grab his keys, he didn't put on proper shoes. There was no note left behind, no argument reported, no visible signs of struggle. He simply stepped outside, turned toward the intersection of Baldwin Drive and Mayfield Road, and was never seen again within hours. The Milton Police Department issued an official missing person alert. His photo flooded social media. Law enforcement networks across Georgia were notified. The alert included a critical detail that immediately changed the tone of the case. Nathan may be disoriented and could be in need of assistance. That one line raised serious concern. This wasn't a planned trip. This wasn't someone trying to disappear intentionally. This looked like someone vulnerable. And then came the part that sent chills through the internet. Later that same day, a short video clip began circulating online. It was reportedly posted by individuals connected to known rivals of Lil Jon. The video didn't directly mention Nathan by name, but the timing was impossible to ignore. The tone was dark, the message cryptic. Some viewers claimed it felt like a taunt, others believed it was an attempt to intimidate. Law enforcement hasn't publicly confirmed any link between the video and Nathan's disappearance. But in the world of hip-hop, where feuds can blur the lines between entertainment and real-life conflict, people started asking hard questions. Was this just coincidence? Or was someone sending a message to one of the most influential figures in the industry? For Lil Jon, this wasn't about fame, headlines, or industry politics. This was about his son. A father's worst nightmare unfolding in real time, behind the scenes. Sources say the family immediately mobilized.
Breaking news, guys. Breaking news, man. Lil Jon's son is missing. I got the news from my girl, Reality TV, who is from Georgia, by way of Texas.
Private investigators alongside local authorities. Security footage from nearby homes was reviewed frame by frame. Doorbell cameras were analyzed. Traffic cameras along Mayfield Road were scanned for any sign of Nathan walking, running, or entering a vehicle. But here's what makes this case even more confusing.
Yeah, it seems that maybe he was, I'm not gonna say, I don't know if he was under the influence of a drug or whatever, but he ran out of the house barefoot with no phone or nothing.
The host of
There was no confirmed sighting after he left the neighborhood. No footage of him getting into a car. No witness claiming to have seen him asking for help. It's as if he stepped into thin air. Nathan, known professionally as DJ Young Slade, wasn't just Lil Jon's son. He was building his own identity in the music scene. Close friends describe him as creative, passionate, and deeply focused on carving out his own path separate from his father's legacy. But like many young artists navigating pressure, expectation, and public scrutiny, there were rumors that he had been under stress. None of it confirmed. None of it officially documented, just whispers, the kind that surface when something goes wrong. Police emphasized in their statements that there was no immediate threat to the public. They urged anyone who encountered Nathan to contact authorities rather than approach him directly. That detail suggested they were concerned about his well-being, not about criminal intent. It painted the picture of someone who might need help more than anything else. Still, online speculation
So Lil Jon is dealing with a scary situation right now. TMZ said his son DJ Young Slade has been reported missing in Georgia. The The same thing, the Milton Police Department put out a missing persons alert Tuesday saying 28-year-old Slade, legal name Nathan Murray Smith, ran out of his home on foot and hasn't been seen since. And he doesn't have a phone. He may be disoriented and he could be in need of help.
Bloated. Some believe this could be a mental health crisis, a moment of confusion or emotional overwhelm. Others suspected foul play, pointing to the viral video as evidence that something more sinister could be at work. And then, there were those who suggested a staged disappearance. Though authorities have given no indication to support that theory, as ours turned into days, the silence became louder. Search teams expanded beyond Milton into surrounding wooded areas. Drones were deployed. K-9 units traced scent trails that reportedly went cold near the intersection. He was last seen approaching. The lack of physical evidence became one of the most frustrating aspects of the investigation. No discarded clothing, no personal items, no signs of a struggle. Meanwhile, Lil Jon remained publicly quiet, focusing efforts privately. Friends close to the family describe him as devastated but determined. For a man known for his explosive energy and larger-than-life persona, this situation was painfully quiet and deeply personal. There's something haunting about imagining a father replaying security footage over and over again, searching for a clue everyone else might have missed. And then there's the video. Digital analysts began dissecting it frame by frame, background details, audio distortions, location hints. Was it filmed locally? Was it old footage reposted strategically? Or was it designed purely to stir chaos during a vulnerable moment? Law enforcement has not officially linked the video to any crime, but they have not dismissed its relevance either in cases involving high-profile families. The line between reality and narrative becomes dangerously thin. Public attention can both help and harm. Tips pour in, thousands of them, but separating credible leads from noise becomes a full-time challenge. What makes Nathan's disappearance especially unsettling is its simplicity. No dramatic confrontation, no public meltdown, just a quiet walk into the darkness before sunrise. There's something deeply symbolic about that image. A young man stepping out alone before the world wakes up. No phone to track, no digital footprint to follow. In an era where almost everyone leaves behind a data trail, Nathan left nothing. Investigators continue to urge the public to focus on verified information rather than speculation. They maintain that, at this stage, the priority remains locating Nathan safely. They have not classified the case as criminal, but they also have not ruled out any possibilities as of now. The intersection of Baldwin Drive and Mayfield Road remains the last confirmed direction he walked toward. It's an ordinary suburban crossing, stop signs, sidewalks, neatly trimmed lawns. But in this story, it's the edge of the known world. Beyond that point, there are only questions. Was Nathan experiencing a moment of personal crisis? Did someone encounter him after he left the neighborhood? Is the viral video connected in any meaningful way? Or is it a cruel coincidence amplified by internet culture? One thing is certain. A father is waiting, a family is searching, and somewhere, answers exist. If you have any information regarding Nathan Murray Smith,
Praying for not just Lil Jon missing person, but
All of them.
missing people, because I know that he's a celebrity and they get, a bigger publicity and all that. But prayers for everybody that's looking for a missing person.
also known as DJ Young Slade. Authorities are urging you to contact the Milton Police Department immediately. Even the smallest detail could matter, because sometimes the most terrifying disappearances aren't the loud ones, they're the quiet ones. The ones where someone simply walks out the door and the world never sees them again. And until there are answers, that early February morning in Milton, Georgia will remain frozen in time, the moment everything changed. If you want updates on this case, and more deep investigations into stories shaking the hip-hop world, make sure you stay tuned. Some stories are bigger than headlines, and this one is far from over. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing your son has vanished. Not kidnapped, not in a car accident, not even a fight. He simply walked out of the front door and disappeared into the darkness. No phone, no shoes, no wallet, no message, just silence. Now imagine that you are not just any father, you are Lil Jon, a global hip-hop icon. A man whose voice once shook arenas and whose beats changed the sound of a generation. But none of that fame, none of those Grammys, none of those platinum records matter when your child is missing. And then, as if the situation wasn't already terrifying enough, the video goes viral, posted by people known to be your rivals. A video many believe was not random, a video that feels less like content and more like a message. A warning, a psychological move. The internet is divided. Some call it coincidence, others call it calculated. But one thing is clear, something about this disappearance does not feel normal. And the deeper you look, the darker it gets. On the morning of February 3, 2026, at approximately 6 a.m. in the quiet and wealthy suburb of Milton, Georgia, a 27-year-old man stepped out of his family home. Milton is not the type of place where people just vanish. It is peaceful, tree-lined streets, expensive homes, low crime. The kind of neighborhood where nothing dramatic ever happens, but that morning changed everything. The young man who walked out that door was Nathan Murray Smith in the music world. He is known as DJ Young Slade. To the public, he is Lil Jon's son, but to his family, he is just Nathan. Security cameras later showed him leaving calmly, no rush, no panic. But something was off. He had no shoes on his feet, no jacket, no phone in his hand, no car keys. He did not even carry a wallet. He turned toward the intersection of Baldwin Drive and Mayfield Road and walked into the early morning darkness. That was the last confirmed sighting. After that, nothing. When hours passed and he did not return, concern quickly turned into fear. By midday, the Milton Police Department issued a formal missing person alert. His photograph was shared across social media platforms. Law enforcement networks across Georgia were notified. But what made this case especially alarming was one key detail in the police statement. Nathan may be disoriented and could be in need of assistance. This was not described as a simple voluntary walkaway. Authorities emphasized that he left without essential items and may not be in a stable state of mind. He had no phone, meaning he could not call anyone for help. No identification, meaning if someone found him, they might not even know who he was. No money, no transportation, just a 27-year-old man walking barefoot into the cold Georgia morning. Police also made something very clear. There was no immediate threat to the public, but they urged anyone who spotted Nathan not to approach him directly. Instead, they were asked to contact authorities immediately so officers could conduct a welfare check. That specific instruction raised more questions than answers. Why would they caution against direct interaction unless there was concern about his mental or emotional state? Within hours, news outlets picked up the story. Fox 5 Atlanta reported on the disappearance. Social media exploded. Fans of Lil Jon, hip-hop communities, and conspiracy-driven corners of the internet all started speculating. Some people focused on the mental health angle, others immediately connected it to industry drama. Because here's where things take a strange turn. Just as the search for Nathan gained momentum online, a video surfaced, posted by individuals known to have past tensions with Lil Jon. The clip itself was not directly stating anything about Nathan. There were no explicit threats, no names mentioned. But the timing, the tone, the symbolism, it felt deliberate. In the video, cryptic phrases were used, subtle references to loss, karma, and what goes around. To the average viewer, it might have seemed like random edgy content. But to fans who follow hip-hop rivalries closely, it felt like something else. Almost like someone was saying, we know something. The internet did what it always does. It split into camps. One side said this was insensitive but unrelated. The other side believed it was psychological warfare, a way to disturb a father already living his worst nightmare. Because let's not forget, behind the stage name and the fame, Lil Jon is a father watching his son's face circulate online under the words missing. Sources close to the family described the atmosphere as tense and emotional. Lil Jon, known for his loud, energetic persona on stage, reportedly went completely silent publicly. No flashy Instagram posts, no bold statements, just quiet coordination with authorities and private search efforts. Sometimes silence speaks louder than words. Search teams began canvassing nearby wooded areas. Volunteers joined the effort. Flyers were placed at gas stations, grocery stores, and traffic intersections. Drones were deployed to scan large properties and nearby trails. But each hour that passed without new information made the situation more terrifying. Investigators started building a timeline. Who did Nathan speak to the night before? Was there any unusual behavior, any signs of distress? According to early reports, there were no obvious signs of a struggle at the home, no broken windows, no forced entry, nothing to suggest someone took him. Which leads to the most difficult question: did he leave on his own, and if so, why? Mental health experts weighed in on television segments, explaining how sudden disorientation or psychological episodes can cause individuals to wander without awareness of danger. But speculation without facts only fuels fear, and in high-profile cases, rumors spread faster than truth. Meanwhile, the viral rival video continued circulating. Reaction channels broke it down frame by frame. Hip-hop blogs dissected every word. Some claimed hidden messages, Others accused fans of reaching for drama where there was none. But the emotional damage was already done, whether intentional or not. The timing of that video added a dark...
And I think that's just a scary situation when you sitting there trying to figure, you don't know. He didn't take his phone. He might have had on shoes, might have didn't have on shoes. He don't have no personal items. That's the weirdest thing right there. Because now you got me worried. Now I'm worried about you because I don't know what the hell going on. What happened to my damn son is what I'm asking at that point. So, I mean, I just pray for Lil Jon, and I pray for the mother of the boy too, because she going through it. It ain't just Lil Jon because he got a name. It's family, brothers and sisters. Everybody is on high alert when somebody missing.
Cloud over the situation. As days passed, investigators reportedly reviewed neighborhood surveillance footage from surrounding homes and traffic cameras. Did he cross into another subdivision? Did someone offer him a ride? Was there a vehicle spotted following him? Each possibility opened a new theory, yet no confirmed sightings emerged. The reality is this: adult disappearances are complex. Unlike missing children cases, adults have the legal right to walk away, but when someone leaves without shoes, without a phone, without preparation, it suggests vulnerability, and vulnerability changes everything. For Lil Jon, this was no longer about music, image, or rivalries. This was about finding his son alive. The hip-hop community, often divided by competition, surprisingly showed moments of unity. Artists posted prayers, fans shared missing person flyers. Radio hosts encouraged listeners in Georgia to stay alert. But still silence. Every parent watching this story unfold imagined the same thing. The fear of not knowing, the helplessness of waiting for a phone call, the nightmare of unanswered questions. Fame does not protect you from that pain. Authorities continued urging the public to report any sightings immediately. They repeated that there was no evidence of foul play at that time, but they also did not rule anything out. Investigations like this move carefully. One confirmed detail can change the entire direction of a case. And then there's the psychological side. When someone close to a public figure goes missing, the pressure multiplies. Every rumor becomes a headline, every social media comment becomes a theory, and sometimes misinformation can interfere with real investigative work. As of the latest official updates, the search remains active. Law enforcement agencies continue following leads. Community members remain on alert, and the family waits. This story is not about clout. It is not about rap beef. It is not about viral moments. It is about a 27-year-old man who walked out of his house and never came back. It is about a father facing a silence louder than any stadium crowd. And it is about how quickly normal life can turn into a mystery. If you are in the Georgia area, stay aware, share verified information only, and remember, behind every headline is a real family living through something unimaginable, because until Nathan Murray Smith is found, this story is not over. And sometimes, the most chilling part of a disappearance is not what we know, it's what we don't. You ever notice how in hip-hop, sometimes the loudest stories are not about diss tracks, not about chains, not about money, but about silence? The kind of silence that makes your chest feel heavy, the kind of silence that makes a father pick up the phone again and again, hoping this time someone answers. Now imagine being that father. Imagine waking up and your son is gone. No warning, no explanation, no public beef, no enemies. Just gone, and the only question echoing in your head is, what happened to my damn son? That's not a lyric, that's not a bar, that's a real father's cry. And what makes this story even darker is that it might not just be about one missing young man. It might be about a pattern hip-hop has never fully confronted: the moment when the sins of the industry fall on the children who never asked to carry them. At that point, nothing else matters, not fame, not money, not status. When a child goes missing, every second feels like a year. The father's voice cracks. Not because he's weak, but because he's human. What happened to my damn son? That question carries anger, confusion, fear, and heartbreak all in one breath. And while the headlines might focus on the famous last name, inside that house it's just a family in pain. A mother who can't sleep, brothers and sisters staring at their phones, relatives replaying the last conversation over and over, looking for clues that might not even exist. People pray for Lil Jon, they send messages, they post hashtags. But behind every post is a deeper reality. This isn't just about one person. He has a name. He has a family. He has people who love him. When someone goes missing, the whole family disappears into anxiety with them. Everybody goes on high alert. Every unknown number feels important. Every knock on the door makes your heart stop. And the worst part, the waiting, the not knowing. Nathan Murray Smith was never the loudest name in the room. Compared to his father's legendary status, he lived relatively low profile, no viral beefs, no messy public drama, no industry feuds splashed across blogs. If you scroll through his Instagram before the disappearance, what do you see? Family moments, studio sessions, music promotion, smiles, career updates that looked positive. Nothing that screams danger, nothing that hints at hidden enemies, nothing that suggests he was caught in something dark. And that's what makes this story even more disturbing, because hip-hop has history. And history in this culture is complicated. When you carry a famous last name, you don't just inherit legacy. Sometimes you inherit enemies. Sometimes you inherit unresolved tensions. Sometimes you inherit beef that started before you were even old enough to understand what a diss track was. That's the part nobody wants to say out loud. Nathan has no known rivals, no public conflicts, no street rumors tying him to drama. On paper, he's clean. But hip-hop doesn't always operate on paper. It operates on memory, on pride, on grudges that never fully die. And when those grudges stay alive long enough, they sometimes look for softer targets. This is where the story shifts from tragedy to pattern. There's something chilling about watching old footage of Nathan talking about his father now. In those clips, you see admiration, respect, maybe even pressure, the silent kind that comes with being the son of a legend. He speaks with pride, he speaks with love. He speaks like someone who understands the weight of the name but still wants to build his own path. At the time, those clips felt normal, just another rapper's son showing love to his dad. But in the context of his disappearance, those same clips feel different. They feel heavy. They feel like echoes from a moment before everything changed. Hip-hop has seen this before, not the exact same story, but the same pattern when beef escalates. It doesn't always stay between the two men who started it. Sometimes it spreads. Sometimes it reaches families. Sometimes it becomes about sending a message, and when children, even grown children, become collateral damage, that's when the culture has to ask itself hard questions. Why does this keep happening? Think about it. In rap, reputation is currency, respect is survival. If someone feels disrespected, sometimes they don't just respond with words. They respond with actions, and if direct confrontation feels too risky, the target shifts. That's the darkest version of the game, the unspoken rule nobody admits exists. But here's the uncomfortable truth. There is no confirmed evidence linking Nathan's disappearance to any specific beef. No official statement pointing fingers, no police report naming industry enemies. And that's important, because speculation can destroy lives just as fast as violence can. So we have to separate pattern from proof. Still, the timing, the legacy, the history, it all creates questions.